Hey guys, what's up? I'm out in the sunroom today, place I don't think I've ever recorded a video. I've got Coco over here with me. You can't see Coco. Let's go look at Coco real quick. There's Coco, Coco the cat. Important video today, I've got notes. Whenever I print out yellow paper notes, that means it's something important. Basically, this may be one of the most important videos I've ever made. I'm an idiot. I'm a moron. I probably had suffering for years I could have avoided if I'd just done what the doctors told me to do. That's the entire point of this video. Just followed directions instead of thinking that I was smarter or knew something that they didn't know. There's a lot of things to talk about in this video, but that's the number one biggest thing. Okay, so let me set the background. I have some kind of exercise-induced exercise intolerance. It generally occurs, it's been kind of building up over the years. I remember first experiencing it, maybe 2010. When I try to ride, early in a ride, a little bit hard, oftentimes I have this like tightness, and it sort of sounds like asthma. Like I can't quite catch my breath, but it's not so much that I can't breathe. It's more like it just doesn't feel like the air is doing anything for me. And if you're like, well, Golson, that sounds like asthma. I've tried things for asthma. I was prescribed the inhalers, and they didn't work. It doesn't help. Whatever it is, it's not asthma. But the symptoms are generally like left arm tightness. I feel it, chest tightness, a sense of panic. And the panic part has been getting worse, but it's like I'm trying to stay up on a group ride. I'm trying to, and enjoy my ride, but instead I just have this like sense of panic, like I need to stop. Like stopping is going to, if I don't stop, I might die. Sometimes I have that feeling. So generally kicks in around 130 beats per minute, which, is, kind of like, not even maybe tempo really, maybe like upper zone 2, lower tempo. It could last 15 minutes. It could last 2 hours. It could never go away depending on what happened. Usually the best thing for me is actually to stop, let the heart rate come down naturally, kind of take a minute or two to recover. That seems to reset everything, and then it's not nearly as bad or completely goes away afterwards. So I had a thorough cardiology, complete workup, 2020. They didn't find anything wrong. 2025, they didn't find anything wrong. No stenosis, no calcification, no blocked arteries. Basically, nothing wrong with my heart. Whatever it is, it's something else, right? They never could really tell me. So in 2020, when I was seeing this cardiologist, he's after telling me, well, I can't find anything wrong, but what I'd like you to do is take a beta blocker. I kind of flipped out. I was like, well, why? Why do you want me to take a beta blocker? And he said, well, I just want you to. I think it would be good for you. You should take a beta blocker. Now, my friend Luke was taking beta blockers because he just had a liver transplant. And for the first time ever riding together, I could beat Luke up hills sometimes. Luke is really, really, a really great athlete. And so even with, liver transplant and beta blockers, we were still riding together pretty equally. He said it made it almost impossible for him to ride hard, like any kind of effort. He said, I just can't do it. And so I was like, I don't want that. That's not my problem. I don't need to slow my heart down. I want it to be able to speed up. And he wouldn't give me like a diagnosis. He wouldn't tell me why. He just said it would be good for you to take a beta blocker. I didn't do it. 2025. They prescribed me a beta blocker. Same thing, basically. I said, well, how come? Well, we think you should, it could help with your heart, could, help with blood flow. And it said, I didn't like have a angry reaction or anything. I just was like, well, okay, and I got the prescription, but I never took it. It just sat in the bottle, and I had metropololo pills, whatever you call them. I have this beta blocker, and I'm not taking it. So I've tried a lot of different things. I've tried pacing, longer warm-ups, feeling differently. Like I tried the asthma inhaler. I've tried, more fluids, more this and that. Nothing really solved it. And, it's just made it where it makes it really, really hard to say ride competitively when in the opening parts of a ride, you cannot go over 130 beats per minute. I've done some crit races and stuff where I've done long warm-ups and been okay. So it's something I can get over, but it requires basically going through the problem before the ride actually starts and getting over it, doing long, hard warm-ups. And if I'm really, really, really super keyed up, sometimes it doesn't even happen at all, but usually it does. Okay, so ChatGPT. I've been experimenting a lot this summer. It seems to, it's almost like having the most knowledgeable friend that can tell you things. Of course, it is an AI and it's not alive or intelligent, and you can't take what it says with like a total grain of salt. But it led me down a lot of things that I could look at. All the different cardiology things, I kind of were able to like say, listen, I've had this test, I've had that test, and it says, yeah. It come up with something I'd never heard before called dysautonomia, or basically exercise-induced autonomic dysfunction. An autonomic nervous system problem where that automatic refers to the fact that, you know, under normal parasympathetic operation, your body's on automatic. When you go into sympathetic, that reacts to, you know, driving up your heart rate, breathing harder, and allows your body to switch over. So dysautonomia is when these systems aren't calibrated right. They're not switching over very well. And so you're not going from rest and digest to fight or flight properly. And so that's causing me my problem, okay? So ChatGPT told me that probably one of the most standard treatments for this type of problem is actually a low-dose beta blocker that will blunt the early sympathetic surge. I have that sitting in my medicine cabinet, metoprolol, sitting there ready to go. And that's actually one of the possible treatments. And it, you know, it's like nobody had spelled that out for me, but at the same time, they told me without telling me all the details. They didn't probably know that it was, you know, they're not going to just say, well, it could be, I don't know, maybe they should have. But if somebody had explained that to me, then I would have taken it a long time ago. So why is this happening to me? Let's kind of go over it quick. For some people, maybe people that have had years of endurance exercise stress, inconsistent hydration problems, heat strain throughout the years, maybe not the best fitness in their life. The autonomic nervous system stops calibrating smoothly. Your body's software gets stuck. Heart rate rises too fast. It kind of spikes. Blood vessels don't open. They don't dilate properly and open up. Breathing gets choked up. Blood flow gets choked up, and that induces a panic. Even though your muscles are totally fine, the fuel, the air and oxygen is not getting there into the chest where it needs to go, and everything feels just like panicky. Beta blockers help by dampening your overactive sympathetic signals. So kind of calm that switch over to fight or flight down and allow it to kind of warm up and naturally occur easier. So here's what happened when I tried it. First pill, last Saturday, 1 week ago from today. First ride I'd ever taken it with was Tour de Corn, a charity ride. I started off at the front group, and Bike World Performance Racing and some other fast riders. And I hung with them for 40 minutes at 25-mile-an-hour pace in the draft. Now, I wasn't ever pulling, but that's a major deal for me because I haven't been able to do that, especially at the beginning of a ride, for a long time. I did my fastest ever 100K, and I did 85 miles. Next day, ride number 2. I did a short 26-mile ride day after in the heat of the afternoon. On this ride, earlier in the ride, I did experience a very mild form of the arm tightness after climbing some hills and stuff, but I didn't have that panic feeling. I didn't have that systematic crash. ChatGPT referred to it as an autonomic cascade, and it just feels like things are out of control. I didn't have that. Next day, or a few days later, another ride. Did a ride with my friend Matt Johnson, 40 miles, 46 miles actually, no distress. No need to stop and try to, you know, reset. I just was able to have a normal bike ride. He did a lot of pulling. He's a strong guy, but we rode pretty fast. And we were planning on doing like maybe 30, 40 miles. And I think we ended up doing 46 or something. It felt great. Now, I've had a few other rides since then. Both of them haven't been quite as good, but there's actually kind of some reasons why. I did a crit the night after that and crit practice with some friends, and I tried something that really screwed up. I tried a like thermogenic fat burning pill that I've had sitting around mixed in with the Metropolo. Basically, it's like they countered each other is what reading about it kind of sounds like, because one of them's like they're basically trying to do opposite things. And still, I had the best crit practice that I've had in a long time. Now, I did have the cascade, I did have the arm tightness and stuff, but it occurred after I had been successfully racing for a while. Last time I tried this, I couldn't even like make it in the early warm-up laps where we were just kind of riding at like tempo pace. You know, I just had the problem then. Like at, you know, this time I was able to hang on. I took a lap off and then I hung on again right up till the end of the race where I blew up. So it was really successful. Like for me, I was great. Yesterday I did a gravel ride. This was like several hard days in a row. I did a hard gravel ride yesterday and I had the problem a little worse. Still, last time I did this gravel ride, I was off the back really front. This time I had that chest tightness and stuff kind of happening sort of in the middle of the ride, and it was a little faster, a little harder than I normally want, but also too, I had just done a race and I hadn't hydrated or ate properly the night before, and I think more of the problem was the fact that I shouldn't have probably been getting up at the next morning and doing a hard gravel ride. So it needs more study, but so far, even the failures or, you know, where it's not been as successful has been better than before. So what I'm doing is taking the Metropolo 2 hours before riding, roughly. I'm not taking it every day. I'm just taking it before rides. It does have a quick acting effect. In 2 hours, it tends to have its blunting effect of your, you know, sympathetic response. So I'm still trying to warm up gradually when I can, but really honestly,